Hello everyone and welcome to the Formula Virtual Racing Academy. I'm Jake Scarborough and we are here for round number 3, I believe it is, in the season with a 17 driver field for this race in the Americas. Obviously North America, the continent, and in the United States down here in Austin, Texas. So what should line up to be a good race. This track is tricky nonetheless, with a long back straightaway making up the second DRS zone on the track, and the windy S's that make up Sector 1 and the beginning of Sector 2, as well as the tricky third sector, which in hindsight isn't that tricky, but when you try battling through there, it is not the best area to, well, battle per se. Nevertheless, we got our driver lineup to go through. Multiple cars out on track. Two of those, however, being the Ferrari duo. That's right, Jack Redmond and Fidel Fabian, both out here in the Ferrari lineup this week, with one of the McLarens following, and that would be Liam Heisman, who will be the third to set a lap. Obviously, Liam, a championship contender, just hanging out of the shadow, seems the past 2 seasons. Still early to call who can win the championship this season. Safe to say that could be between Sam Crumpton, Tyler Dean Davison, and Avesta Gobati. Nevertheless, Jack Redmond will be the first driver to set a lap during today's qualifying session. So let's see what he can do here around the circuit of the Americas. Let's make his way for the last 2 corners, backing up, so those 2 behind him will have to do the same exact thing unless Fabian tries passing him. No, he's going to stay right behind, so not sure that's good for Fidel Fabian to be that close to dirty air through Sector 1, but Jack Redmond roars down the main straight and will go on board for this lap. Obviously taking it into a tight hairpin of turn 1 up the hill, and now headed through the S's, which no longer have the paint that they did in the last game. An awkward sight, and just like that, his lap is gone, so try to get an eye on Fidel. What is going on here? I think he's trying to not mess up his teammate's lap time, but that getting dirt across the track right there, not helpful at all, regardless of his intentions there or not. Speaking of the long straightaway in the third sector, he's going to give his teammate help through here. Well, Fabian may have a good lap set up fully by his teammate. Oh, and obviously a lack of communication as to which way they go, so that may lose just the slightest bit of time for the Ferrari driver. Corby Glennon out of the session after turn 1, and that was on a lap, so not sure what happened there to spin out off the exit of turn 1. However, you're going to get a good idea of what a good lap is here. We're probably going to see a lot of teammates help each other out down that long straight. Let's see if Fidel Fabian will also return the favor as he'll come out of the final corner to set, what will it be? A 135.005, which is immediately beaten by Liam Heisman, who sets a 133.268. The McLaren driver on a roll right now, but you see, I'm not sure who that is. Approach the final corner. Oh, that is... Not sure who you are. Okay, let's check the driver lineup for today's race to get an idea. That would be Dan Venwinkle? Not sure, but not sure how to pronounce the last name. But Sam Crumpton, in the meantime, goes up to the top of the sheets with a 133.108. Towards the bottom of that was the AlphaTauri driver, running in 6th with a 136.791, so maybe a scuffed lap there. Not sure if anything's happened. As you see, Lennon Rotting joining the session now. As we see someone else cross the line. That was Darth FIFA, otherwise known as Thomas Main, third on the charts with a 133.857. We've seen good things out of Thomas Main, especially at Bahrain. He's got a whole new set of goals this season, it seems. Seb Mills with a 141.3. Definitely know that was a scuffed lap. The captain, Habib McCook, in 8th, but moving through the field, Escobati with a 133.353, putting him 3rd on the charts. One of our lead championship contenders, as I was talking about earlier. You see Dean Davison here. He's going to roar through the first hairpin, and now leading up to the S's. We'll keep an eye on him to see what he's capable of doing here in qualifying. More drivers set a lap up on the chart. Seb Mills out of the session. Purple through sector 1 for the Aston Martin driver. The defending champion is ready to bring it on here in America. Let's see what he can do. Going downhill into yet another hairpin, a wide hairpin at that. Obviously no wall surrounding the racing line or racing surface. Up as he's catching, I believe that is Kyle Albert. Not so sure about that. That is obviously one of the Alfa Romeo drivers. As he sits behind, not going to be good to have that dirty air right here, especially on a car that is on an out or an in lap, whatever the case. And there it is. Not sure who that was. That was not Kyle Albert. That would have been Habib McCook. So not so sure what his intentions were and why he's staying out on track. But that is definitely terrible for Dean Davison, who his first run is just out the window for no good reason at all. See, Brendan White. Yeah, Brendan White just backed off his lap. He's going to bring it down into the pit area. So not so sure what's going on, but obviously with most of the field out in the pits, it's going to set up for some laps. Lennon Rotting will be starting his flying lap here momentarily, so we'll keep an eye on that as that goes on. Is commenting on the stream. I guess there was some miscommunication or mispronunciation of his name last week. Make sure that is done correctly. So in the meantime, speaking of him, he is 6th on the charts, currently on an out lap. Purple sector 1 for Lennon Rotting. Noticing that. At 6th place on the charts with a 134.529 is Tim Denhire. So we'll see what he can do. And that's odd to see the AlphaTauri driver getting out of the way down this long straight, so not helping out his teammate. So not too fond seeing that, but nevertheless, a long qualifying session ahead, a long race, a big track too. I guess they say everything's bigger in Texas, don't they? See Lennon Rotting approach the last 2 corners, and obviously the final corner here in the Circuit of Americas to cross the line. Where will he go? P9 with 136.662 makes you wonder where he lost that time, especially going purple in Sector 1. Nothing good to come from that lap. Still 3 more drivers capable of setting a lap time. 15 drivers able to put a lap time up on the board as of now, or at least 13 or 12 have a time up at the moment. As we keep an eye on Sam Crumpton, who sits at the top of the charts with provisional pole. Will he keep it there for the remainder of the session, obviously, as we wind down with just less than 8 minutes to go? The car just up the road from him is Liam Heisman, who is invalidated on his lap, so he'll probably be bringing it into the pits this time by. He parks in the middle of the track for Sam Crumpton. Not so sure what that was for, but Sam Crumpton to approach the final 2 corners. Let's see where he can go. Obviously, the American car. Could it win the American race? He'll bring it into the pits as well. Liam Heisman, however, is not going to do that, and he'll go out for another lap. Keep an eye on qualifying right here. I believe that's Fidel Fabian approaching the final few corners. Let's see what he can do here, if he can improve from 7th place. Out of the final corner, the flashing red light. He moves up to P6 with a 134.426. Not so much to gain there. Keep an eye on both the Williams drivers. That is Brennan White, who is going to be crossing the line here momentarily. That will put him... No, I guess he's starting his lap. Thomas Main to second with a 133.260. So Thomas Main showing he has the speed to compete more and more this season. But let's see if he has what it takes to close off the job and win here today. Brennan White goes up to P6 with a 134.377. I believe that was Lewis McWilliam, who just joined the lobby. So that's going to be a saving grace. 19 people here for the Austin Grand Prix. I believe that's the proper name of it. I'm not sure yet. Don't see why it wouldn't be. The U.S. Grand Prix? I don't know what it's still called. We have two U.S. GPs. 3 next year because of Las Vegas. Oh, and a spin right there for Aston. Yeah, Aston Lewis not having the ideal situation through the carousel and not out of the penultimate quarter either. Your name the same as the car. You should be one with the car, Aston. It's a quiet qualifying session with only 2 cars sitting on track still, and that being Brennan White and the captain. Let's see where Habib McCook can go as he roars down that long straightaway, not using DRS. An interesting choice for captain. I'm not sure if he is aware that he didn't have DRS activated. But as I mentioned, a quiet qualifying session. Every car is starting to roll out of the paddock area right now. seems to back off massively before the penultimate corner. So I guess this must be a... I guess, I'm not sure what this lap is from the captain. Obviously, big situation right now is Tyler Dean Davison not having a lap up and not being able to set one, and he could end up starting dead last on the grid. He could end up starting 19th if Lewis McWilliam does end up participating in the race. As of right now, it looks like he could be... Yep, and there it is. So he could be set up to start P19 if Kyle Albert does get a lap in, which I don't see why he wouldn't. Still, all these drivers up on the left side of the screen, you can see they are on outlaps. Oh, and a spin there from Habib. Not sure how he looped it there. Excuse me. So a spin from the Alfa Romeo driver. Now he'll be unable to complete his lap, but lots of drivers out here with laps to set. I want to keep an eye on... let's see. We can keep an eye on Thomas Main. I feel like he's got the speed to put it up towards... No, well, obviously he's already towards the top, but let's see if he can put it at the top. Let's see if Estegobadi didn't go anywhere. Not sure if that was his lap or if he's starting one now. But purple through Sector 1 for Thomas Main. Let's see if that can improve. He roars past the Red Bull parked on the side, that being Tim Den Heijer. Not much left in this qualifying session to set a time. Looks like Lewis McWilliam won't be setting a lap at all. There's 18 seconds left. The AlphaTauri rolls across the line. Nothing to gain there. The other Mercedes driver out of the session. They both will start outside the top 10, the points-paying positions for the race at hand. See a little sideways, or not sideways, but a little loose on the corner exit here, through the carousel, through the penultimate corner, leading up to the final corner. Where will Thomas Main go? Can he improve to the pole? Let's see, across that rumble strip on the inside curb. He goes to the top of the sheets with a 133.091. But now Sam Crumpton has to respond. Liam Heisman with an invalidated lap time. He won't be able to go anywhere. It's left up to Estegobadi to see what he can do as he comes out of the final corner. Where will he go? Up the charts. Yes, he will, to the top with a 132.834. Now the pressure's on for Sam Crumpton. I'm sure another driver can possibly throw their hat into the ring and possibly make a charge towards the front and towards provisional pole, but I think right here it's going to be Sam Crumpton. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the Sauce driver. Purple through Sector 2. As established, Sam Crumpton, he's got something to prove here today. Will we see our defending champion start from the back of the grid? And it looks like he won't be. Kyle Albert had a spin across the line with an invalidated lap, meaning Dean Davison will not start from the rear, but Crumpton, can he come out of the final corner and start from the front row in the first spot? Yes, he will, with a 132.815 as two drivers break into the 132s, and they'll both be on the front row for today's race. And that's a way to end up qualifying with Sam Crumpton taking it away by 18, oh boy, 0.018 separate first from second, but that almost 3/10 gap from the Williams driver, Thomas Main, showing he's got what it takes. So let's see if he has what it takes to win. Williams within a fantastic qualifying session, both cars in the top 5. Let's see what these guys can do here in the United States Grand Prix. If you are just now tuning in, we are moments away from lights out for the United States Grand Prix here in the Circuit of the Americas for the Formula Virtual Racing Academy. Round number 3 here in Austin, Texas. Sam Crumpton will lead the field into battle with Avestico Body just behind him on the front row. Both these guys broke into the 132s in qualifying. Third place, Thomas Main has something to prove, quite obviously, as he has broken into a force that, quite frankly, we did not see last season, and we've seen a lot of this season, so making his way with a hard charge towards the front of the grid. Let's see what he can do today. Williams as a whole with both cars in the top 5, but an American car, the only American team in Formula 1, will lead the field into turn 1 for its home GP. May not be a driver's home GP. The only home driver technically there is in the field is Fidel Fabian, although he is representing the Dominican Republic. However, the drivers form up on the grid finally as we get ready to go here in the US. Drivers rev those engines, and lights are out, and here we go. Here for the United States Grand Prix as they charge into turn number 1. Sam Crumpton with an amazing start. As there's a McLaren, Liam Heisman's going to dive it into the inside, and he's going to get the move going to jump into P2, and an Alpine on its side in the back. Not so sure how he got looped right there. The Williams fall back. Multiple cars around. The Alpine driver will get it back going, but in the tail end of the grid, you see Aston Lewis. He's there in 4th, making his way through. Timden Heyer also moving up through the field, passing the Ferrari driver. 2 cars around. You saw Seb Mills around in the back, but he's got a ways to make up. Tyler Dean Davison started P18, and he's already in the points-paying positions. 1 lap in, and he's up 8. And there's a driver around. That's Lewis McWilliam behind the Aston Martin, just spinning out. So lots of guys spinning out here on this first lap. But side by side, Liam Heisman's going to make the charge to the inside, get past Sam Crumpton to take the race lead here in COTA. Sam Crumpton still on a charge, obviously. Avestico Body right there with him. Aston Lewis there as well. This field starts to bunch up, but also separate from certain ends of it. Let's see what can happen here. See Crumpton, and there goes Aston Lewis off the exit of the penultimate corner. He spins it out in front of the field, but his teammate has made his way up to P8. Slowly, or not even slowly, fastly climbing up through the field. Where will he be at the end of lap 2? That's the real question here. Another driver around in the back. That's Chloe Glenn and Seb Mills. They're going to be entering the pits. It looks like another driver will be joining them as well, as I seem to use up my voice. Niall Karen also joining them. He will be retiring the car in the pits. So an early exit for the Mercedes driver. Not a good day for Mercedes as a whole, as both their cars are at the back of the grid, with one being out by the end of lap 1. You saw a slip through the cracks. You saw Brennan White fell way through the pack, already fell back to P14, so Williams with a slow start. Thomas Main fell back a position, obviously. See Timden Heyer in 5th now, Fidel Fabian 6th, London Rotting in 7th. The hard-charging Tyler Dean Davison, he's got a gap to make up, but I'm sure it won't take long for the defending champ. Alfa Romeo hanging on with P9 and P8. You see Aston Lewis with a 3-second time penalty to his name, already standing P11 after that spin on lap 1. So obviously not good to already have a time penalty on lap 2 of this race. There's a 7/10 gap separates first from second, and a 7/10 gap separates second from third. Fastest lap of the race, Liam Heisman with a 1:37.327 on those medium tires. DRS obviously now available for these guys. But you see the leader may be on the medium compound, but Sam Crumpton on those hards, Vestigobati on those hards. If they can still keep up with Heisman, then I think they may have the better strategy around him in the long-term effect. A huge gap separating third from fourth, that 2.3 second gap. Obviously now Thomas Bain setting purple sector 1. Seaton and Higher starting to close that gap, but as previously mentioned, Dean Davison's right there. See Lennon Rotting with that flashing red light already out of the ERS deployment. Seb Mills out of the race. He retires in the final corner, and that will bring out the first safety car of this race. And that could flip some strategies up on their head, especially these guys on the medium compound. I'm not so sure if their strategy will be less viable or not. This could end up benefiting them in the long term, because with the way the tires work here, they could get onto the hards way later than originally planned, and Aston Lewis getting a little tight right there. 5-second penalty added on. AlphaTauri driver Ben, he's going to get a 3-second time penalty added on as well. Our first safety car of the session, 2 retirements. Mercedes leaves America with just nothing to their name. It's not a great way for the race to go. You see Fidel Fabian diving into the pits. He's going to get off those mediums and put on the hards immediately. Aston Lewis seems like he's going to do the same thing here. As he approaches, he's going to serve a 5-second time penalty. Probably just to get that away from him. He's going to get off those mediums and put on another pair of mediums. Interesting strategy there. Jack Redman, he's now on the hards. So both Ferraris dive in for the hard tires. I'm not sure if that will be a viable strategy here at race's end, but you never know. They could end up trying to push it all the way to the end, but obviously with the pace that the top three's got, I think they're safe to stay out here and still manage to make their strategy work and win by a mile. Nevertheless, we'll come back with commentary when the safety car period comes to a close. We'll keep an eye on the field throughout, however. Make sure nothing uncertain. As Aston Lewis wrecks out under safety car at the beginning of Sector 2, in the last part of the S's. See if we can... So no, his car is gone before Chloe Glennon gets there. So, the Mercedes-powered cars not really having a logical day, besides Liam Heisman, I guess, and Thomas Bain. As originally stated, we will bring back commentary when we go back racing, unless something massive happens under the period. car coming back in this time by Liam Heisman. We'll get ready to set the field back to racing conditions, followed by Sam Crumpton and Vesta Gobati on the hard compound tires. So they're looking to go away. You saw 3 drivers take the decision to pit back there. That was both Ferraris, Fidel Fabian, Jack Redman, and Chloe Glennon, the other McLaren driver, looking for a way to get towards the front with her teammate. Let's see. What will Heisman do? Will he send him green in time? Yes, he will. Right before the final corner, he'll send him back to racing speed as we charge down the main straight, but not much of a gap separating him and Crumpton. He's going to swerve to warm up the tires and possibly break the slipstream before turn 1. A huge gap, though, from Gobati to Crumpton, which is surprising there. It looks like Gobati took a little nap before they went back racing. Lennon Rotting with the 3-second time penalty added on. You see Dean Davison in 6th. He's trying to find a way around the Red Bull of Timden Hire. He's looking for any way around the Red Bull driver. That's a little bit of an error from Tim. He's going to spin across the track. Luckily to Ghost right before the rest of the field. But what a weird way for that to go. As Tyler now has his sights set on the podium and possibly even a race win. You see Thomas Main trying to hang on with Gobati, but I'm not sure if he's got the speed to hold on at the moment. Obviously still a long race ahead of us. Over 22 laps remain. And another retirement from the race. That is the Alpine driver down the long straight, and another safety car's come out as it looks like, oh, the AlphaTauri also caught up in it. Oh boy, oh boy. The mid-pack seems to be getting more and more interesting. 4 retirements so far, 15 drivers left in this. AlphaTauri now with a bad day, so it looks like Ben just got caught up in it because he's missing his front wing. So not so sure how this incident occurred, obviously keeping an eye towards the front of the pack. 15 drivers remain, 10 of those drivers earning points. Now this is big for the guys that pit under that safety car. Fidel Fabian, Chloe Glennon, and Jack Redman, as they all find themselves right there in the mid. And you see Liam Heisman, yeah, he's going to dive in for the hard tires. So big move there, big decision to switch the hards this early on. But hey, that could be logical towards the end with how common safety cars are so far this race. 7 laps in, 2 safety cars, 5-second time penalty for Lennon Rotting. So it looks like the AlphaTauri's having a little bit of a moment back here. See Lewis McWilliam also in the pits. Timden Hire, I believe, pit as well. I'm not so sure about that one. No, I don't think he did. I think that's just from the spin, the recovery run there. So these guys on the hards that started on them, they're going to have an awkward strategy ahead of them. As for the people that pit under the first safety car, now Liam Heisman added on to that bracket of drivers that have got those fresh tires. This could get interesting. As before, we'll bring back commentary when we go back racing and keep an eye on what's going on throughout the rest of the field. second time in this race before we even reach lap 10. But this time, Sam Crumpton will lead the field back to racing conditions. The Haas driver with a lot of speed, a lot of willpower. The pole sitter 2 will lead the field back as he gets ready. Safety car is back in the paddock. Vestico body just behind. Thomas Main, Tyler Dean Davison, a quick on his feet, a little sideways on the corner exit, but a Vestico body locks it up, and he gets sideways. That's going to send him to the back, as he almost had the restart to pounce right on Sam Crumpton. It's all gone away, and now Thomas Main sits in second when Dean Davison's going to sit right behind and find a way to get around him quickly and smoothly. A Vestico body still in fifth, though. A great recovery right there off of the mishap on the restart. You see Liam Heisman starting to work his way through the field as he tries to find a way around his teammate. The two McLarens not giving each other any little bit of room and a contact between the two. Surprised to see. And whoa, a DNF from Jack Redmond right in front of the Red Bull drivers as he got nailed by one of them. That was Lewis McWilliam, and surprisingly no safety car. Both McLarens, however, still battling for position. We just watched a massive crash. Yet no safety car at all. This game's had enough of it, and there's the safety car. It wanted to wait a long time for that one. Liam Heisman finds his way around his teammate, but Ferrari has taken a massive bullet. Now they're left with one car. Jack Redmond, that was a vicious hit. Thankfully, this is the virtual world and not real life world. Jeez Louise. That saves Vestico body as well to have that mistaken. And pitting from Sam Crumpton, Thomas Main, Dean Davison. That's going to put the captain in first. Vestico body second. Kyle Albert, AlphaTauri is going to infiltrate the podium positions. See Fidel Fabian, Liam Heisman, they're going to stay out as well. Obviously with their fresh, hard tires. Now we're going to keep an eye again on this safety car period. Half the field pitting here. Just big moves today. We'll be back when we go back racing. Once again, safety car in this time, but an interesting safety car restart because now the Alfa Romeo Brigade sit first and third, but Avestigobati in that little Ferrari-powered sandwich. Not gonna be ideal for him. The captain, Habib McCook, this is the captain speaking. He's about to send the field back racing. Let's see if he can hold on to it on the hard charging Alpine of Avestigobati. Little tongue twister there. And through the final corner. Let's see where he goes. The captain will charge down the main straight, but Avestigobati's hot on his tail, and he's going to look to the inside, charging for turn number one. It looks like Khabib is going to try closing it off, but not be able to get the door closed in time. And he's going to back off, and Avestigobati back into the race lead. And now side by side from Liam Heisman and Fidel Fabian, and a little checkup from McCook. And that's going to prevail right there, as it would have caused an accident between the Ferrari and the McLaren. Now you see, will Fidel Fabian be able to get around Habib McCook quickly, swiftly, and enough to where he can keep Liam Heisman behind him? These guys in a single file line. Let's see, Heisman, he's going to look to send it there. But you're going to see Lennon Rotting do it to Chloe Glennon, and he gets sideways from a little bit of contact. Jeez. And flying through now, as Chloe Glennon, should I say, is dropping through. Sam Crumpton climbing his way up. Thomas Main doing the same, and it looks like Liam Heisman's going to get around Fidel Fabian quickly. And now Crumpton's going to look to the inside of Fidel Fabian. These are not making it fun for the new guy. The new face in the league. But there you see Liam Heisman. He's going to get passed by Sam Crumpton quickly enough. And now Crumpton's going to try making a pass on Habib McCook. He's going to send it to the inside here. And Habib's going to have to check up and makes contact with Heisman. There's almost a brake check to Heisman. And I think that's going to send him into the pits. Yes, it will. Damage for the McLaren driver, as he is not happy with how he just got raced right there. Now you see Thomas Main going to send it to the inside of Fidel Fabian. And Tyler Dean Davison's just there to follow and pick up the missing pieces. And he's going to try getting around Fabian as well. Leading up to the S's, the beginning part. Tyler's going to clear him before then to lead for no battle. But it's another caution right here, as it looks like McCook has wing damage and is off track. So not good for him, but I'm sure Liam Heisman will not have some kind words or actions to follow with what just happened and what just took place. Chloe Glennon with the 3-second time penalty now. As you see, the guys in second and third, that's Kyle Albert. He's going to try holding off Sam Crumpton, but nothing to do. He's going to just hold it in a straight line, let it happen. Sam Crumpton moves up to second after that pit stop to the mediums. See a lot of these guys just trying to figure out their way through the field. Lennon Rotting cutting the corner right there. This guy's more contact right there. That was from Brennan White turning in on Rotting. I guess you could say Lennon was sending it a little too hard. In contact between the two, it looks like either a little bit of overcorrection or just trying to blatantly take him with him. DRS is activated for the field. 136.523 for Sam Crumpton on those medium tires. He's charging back for the lead that Avestigobati has. But now the Baby Bull, the Big Bull, they both fight for P8. Well, not much of a fight right now, should I say. Brendan White in the pits, followed by... not sure what's going on. Liam Heisman back in the pits as well. So continuous pit stops from those drivers. Avestigobati is just trying to fly away with this one. Lennon Rotting with the 3-second time penalty. You see Gobati's doing all he can to stay in the lead. Maybe even hoping for another safety car. Sam Crumpton, however, is charging down as he gains 3 to 4 tenths within the first sector and a half. on this lap. Now within 1 second leading up to the third sector, and that's the captain around in sector 2. These guys playing around with the FIA. It's the in-game FIA. It seems these guys are about to cause another safety car as Davison gets to work on Thomas Main. Kyle Albert just behind them. Hanging out. Much of a battle going on as these guys stay single file, probably trying to gain time rather than battle for position. See, Lewis McWilliam, that lap got around Lennon Rotting. So AlphaTauri starting to slip through those cracks that they had high earlier today. 3-second time penalty again for Lennon Rotting. Lewis McWilliam getting around Timden Higher. It seems Tim is slightly falling through the pack of what's left of it towards the rear end. But Crumpton charging behind Gobati. Keep an eye on this battle. A little lockup from Gobati right there. As Crumpton was just behind, able to avoid. And contact between the two, and he's going to shove Gobati right off the track. That's going to give Crumpton the position, but not the cleanest way to go about it. That could lead up to a penalty post-race, and Gobati's around in the penultimate corner, once again letting it slip away, that throttle control. Oh my, Vesta Gobati still hasn't pit either. That's going to hurt him as well. There's more things slipping away for Gobati, and now Crumpton with a lead. A massive one at that, 4.2 seconds. Jeez Louise. So a huge pack forms. That's the middle right here. Three-car pack, should I say. Mr. William, Chloe Glennon, and Timden Higher. And no, there's another car around. That's Thomas Main who looped it this time. Fabian getting around right there. Vescobati as well. Question is, can Davison catch up to Crumpton? Looks like Crumpton has a penalty of sorts. Not sure what that is. 3-second time penalty. 20 seconds for Lennon Rotting, so not sure he knows what he's really doing in this race. What's left of it. Getting an eye on the tire situations for these drivers. Obviously 6 laps on those mediums. I don't think the mediums can go the rest of the way, quite honestly. Let's see the hards. Maybe Gobati has something to salvage, but I don't think there's much to salvage, especially if there's not another safety car. Question still is up in the air as another car around. That's Chloe Glennon at the beginning of Sector 3, or towards the beginning of it. Sitting in the last points paying position. Looks like the driver into the pits, that's Thomas Main. Another 3-second time penalty for Lennon Rotting. So I'm not so sure what is the issue in this race. 23 seconds worth of time penalties. It's about 10 seconds away until the game disqualifies him. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits for Chloe Glennon. That's another one to add on to the tally. Trying to keep an eye on the tire situations. Thomas Main's going to try making it to the end now on those mediums with a newly repaired wing. Tyler Davison, without a doubt, driver of the day, but maybe Kyle Albert, depending on how his day goes. Those both 16 to 15 position games. Difference between the two. One's for second, one's for fourth. hard-fought day for both those drivers. Nevertheless, they've still got plenty of time for something to go better, something to go worse. It looks like Lewis McWilliam plans to make quick work of Fidel Fabian as he's going to send it in the corner, make the move, but goes wide on the exit. And that's going to lead him to the inside for this corner as he's going to send it here. No contact between the two. But now he's going to lead up to the outside, but Fidel Fabian's going to be to the inside here. Fidel's going to wash out and line up just in front of him before the carousel, but he's going to keep it there to the inside. Fidel Fabian with no exit speed there. McWilliam's going to be able to make it work. And, oh, a little snap right there for the penultimate corner. And another 3-second time penalty added on to Lennon Rodding's time. Just not the day, not a good day. He's going to send it in the pits. I think he's just going to retire the car here. And there it is. Yep, retiring the car. There's just nothing to salvage for him today. Field, 13 drivers remain. 3-second time penalty to the other AlphaTauri driver. So racking up time penalties today seems to be what AlphaTauri is doing the most of. Unless the strategy that's involved in this race still is getting more significant as the clock winds down, the laps wind down. These guys try to figure out on the spot what their strategy is. I'm sure a few of these guys are questioning what they have to do to make this race go perfect to the end, but nothing happening really. You see William Fabian are the closest to on the track. Actually, no, Thomas Main as he finds a way around to beat McCook before the hard braking point at the end of the second DRS straight. And that's a Vestigo body in the pits, switching from the hards to possibly the mediums to the end. Let's see, is that a red sidewall I saw? No, it is not. Okay, so the mediums for a Vestigo body towards the end of this race come back out in 7th, so we'll see him work his way back to the field either on track or through pits or speed, and Habib McCook's going to send it into the pits after just getting a time penalty. Thomas Main, fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.429. Quick time for there. Quick time for the Williams drivers. They found themselves in a just tough situation. You see Kyle Albert, Lewis McWilliam, those two having a scrap. It's for the last podium spot. Another car around, I believe. It's Liam Heisman. Yes, it is. Liam Heisman taking it back there. So McLaren's had a day that they'd probably like to forget, as it's just been up and down, left and right. Side to side like a level coaster. I guess in the words of Carlos Sainz. Much to talk about throughout this race, as nothing much is going on. Really make quick work of Albert and the other Red Bull, Tim and Hires, trying to find himself towards the rear end of the Ferrari of Fidel Fabian, who is trying to hunt down Kyle Albert. Festicobati still closing the time, 4 seconds separate him from Tim Denhire. Purple through sector 2 for the Alpine. Winding down that gap, as you saw, 2 seconds going through there, and a 134.822 on those mediums for Gobati. Jeez. The amount of speed this man has this race. Makes you wonder, maybe he can recover. Maybe if those top 2 have to pit again, can he just salvage a victory in this one? It's a big question that lies ahead in these closing laps, especially with that 3-second time penalty that Crumpton has. That could mean the world to Gobati. And seeing as Tyler Davison has lost a bit of time, it makes you wonder if maybe he's saving his stuff for the end and Crumpton's not. And you know, the strategy goes so many different ways. As Gobati 1.1 back from Tim Denhire, who has now caught Fidel Fabian, as we're going to see the move here to the inside. Virgo's making quick work of the Ferrari. Now we're about to see Gobati make quick work as Fidel Fabian with the save right there. Didn't look like there was contact, just a little sideways off exits. That may be the tire wear kicking in. Just a minor driver error. Gobati's on the charge for Denhire. Looking to the inside, there's going to be a move here. DRS activated. He's going to send it in as it looks like Tim Denhire is going to back off a little. Fidel Fabian sent it in. He's going on the softs. An interesting move right here to switch to the softs and get an idea of their tires again, because he pit with, was it Heisen? No, it was Redmond. Huh. Okay, so it's hard to tell. He went a while on those tires, maybe. I'm still curious if the mediums that the top 3 are on. Kyle Albert's definitely got to put again. See, Gobati's hunting the Alfa Romeo down with that flashing red light. I don't think there's any defending for this, Kyle. And there he is. You saw Kyle Albert diving in. Surprisingly, 3-second time penalty for that, so he'll probably get that revoked after the race at hand. It makes you wonder if a safety car would change everything about this race, and quite honestly it would. You see Albert, putting on the soft tires. As he'll get jumped by Thomas Main. Not sure if he'll get jumped by Fidel Fabian. No, he will not. He's got Lenny White charging him down in the meantime. That could be a possibility with the cold tires. Just get an idea of the gap to the leader. Festicobati is in a particular situation where if the top 3 pit right now, he would line up like just outside of it. So he's really got to push more than ever, if, you know, in case those guys do hit, possibly jump him. But guess the matter is saving the tires so they can battle, and there's a little error right there. So maybe he doesn't need a push. Maybe that is out the window. He's just fighting that car, and it makes you wonder what is going on with that thing. There's little errors here, seemingly messing him up. There's McWilliam with the 3-second time penalty. He's just a little up the road from the body. Same tire life as the two ahead. I think if there's a tire concern now for Crumpton and Davison, they're just looking at it as, well, the softs are an option. They've got nothing to lose by going on them. 21.3, so yeah, he is winding down that gap. It seems like he kind of winds it down through sector 1 and 2. Liam Heisman getting a 3-second time penalty added on, and there's a car around. That is Heisman. Or no, that was Glennon, actually, in front of Davidson. So, nothing other than a spin, but McWilliam is trying to find a way to pull away and kind of salvage this little gap he's got to go body to get a podium here today. You see Glennon up the road after her spin just moments ago. But Body's got a gap that's still closing, and now if you're one of the top two and you're thinking to yourself, you've got to pit, then you better do it now, or else you're going to be coming out a little ways behind Go Body. And whether you're on soft tires or not, I don't think that's going to be an easy task to get around Go Body. See a pass towards the back, a little bit of contact there from Maine to Albert. It looks like Albert's just going to drive away with this one, obviously, on those fresh softs. A little bit of an error there. It's going to pull Maine back up to him. Surely nothing much to fight for. They may have a charge down the straight. Yeah, that straight could be a factor here. Here comes Thomas Maine to the inside. He's going to try battling Albert, and he's going to get clear of him before the hard-braking point, but it makes you wonder if Albert's going to send it in. No, he will not. He's going to back it off and just stay filed behind. Another person definitely added on to the AlphaTauri. Oh, jeez. We're about to see Go Body. Here's the pass for third. Yeah, McWilliam's not even going to battle it. He knows there's nothing to gain, and okay, that's in the pits. I was not on track. That's in the pits. So, as I was saying, McWilliam just not even going to fight it. He's just going to let Go Body go. There's nothing to fight for. Yes, there's a podium at stake, but the tire disadvantage and advantage between the two is just too much of a gap to really bother. Albert's now going to salvage whatever this is. Thomas Maine had a little error right there, and that's going to allow Albert to ground that, right? These two figuring out their situations in the race, and there's a yellow in Sector 3. I'm not sure what happened there. You see Liam Heisman's in the pits. Nothing's wrong with Habib McCook, so not so sure what that's all about. so sure. Oh, 1 minute left. This session is another pass. Thomas Main getting around Kyle Albert, and I'm suppose the top two haven't pit yet, and they don't have any intention on doing so, but the gap has narrowed down by 2 seconds. So there could be some conserving on Crumpton's part. We're going to keep an eye on that because those tires are going to be a huge thing right here. 17 laps on those mediums. We saw the longest driver did on the hards was 21 laps, so we could see a puncture for one of these guys. .4 separate the two. So looks like Crumpton has gone into a little bit of a conservation mode, so that maybe proves my point that that's what Davison was doing earlier in the run, and that's what even got a bigger gap between them at that point, as this was more the gap at hand earlier. Crumpton, he's just gonna wing it around one more time. This final lap here in Austin. 3.3, 3.2 separate these guys. 3.1, that gap's narrowing down quickly. Not significantly, but I mean, it's there. And, you know, Go Body's in a position where if both these guys have something happen, then they can just sneak up and steal it. Jeez, these tires have taken a whooping. You see those two in frame right there. But Crumpton's going to push it, it seems. See a little bit of a snap right there. But that 3-second time penalty, Davison could prevail. And hold on. Oh, no, I'm not sure where those, like, 5/10 came from. But Crumpton lost a lot of speed, and now that's got Dean Davison in the window. Dean Davison's going to be your race leader right here. Your race winner. If things stay like this, that is 1 second into the gap, and I'm not sure what's going on with Crumpton. Why is he slow? Is he out of fuel? I believe Crumpton's out of fuel. No. There's no puncture. Yeah, I believe he's out of fuel. Or he's just got some very dead tires, but nevertheless, you're going to see Crumpton here cross the line. He'll be the first to see the checkered flag, but the guy behind him, the Aston Martin, Tyler Dean Davison, he's going to be the race winner. And what an awkward way for the race to finish. And I mean, unless that 3-second time penalty gets lifted, Crumpton's your race winner, but as you saw him swerve to the inside wall, it's something you stereotypically see if you know you're the race winner, but I'm not so sure I understand what I just watched. Gobadi finishes up the podium. McWilliam gets 4th. Timden Hire gets 5th. Red Bull taking home a double top 5. Thomas Main's going to get that 6th place finish. Kyle Albert's going to hold off Fidel Fabian narrowly. See, Main spins it across the line, and looks like Kyle tried doing the same. But, oh, and Fidel Fabian's going to end up getting 7th anyway to Albert's 8th, looks like, because of time penalties, probably. Yes, it will. Now, Liam Heisman, there's just a couple corners remaining. He's going to be able to get P9 with Brendan White following him for P10. Well, actually, that will be flipped. Brendan White's P9, Liam Heisman's P10 because of time penalties. So obviously if things change, you'll see that on the Formula Virtual Racing Academy Instagram post. These other two crossing the line, but it's an odd way to finish the race. I'm not personally sure if Davison's the winner or Crumpton's the winner, but a lackluster race after the first 10 laps. Some interesting strategy calls, but as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, Tyler Dean Davison wins another race, but Lewis McWilliam ekes away the driver of the day per the game, but I'm not so sure I agree with that considering Davison went from 19th or 18th to first. Nevertheless, a long race that is in the books finally. Go off to our podium celebration. And after an interesting United States Grand Prix here in the Circuit of Americas, Austin, Texas, you see Tyler Dean Davison go from 18th to 1st with a one-stop strategy and win. Sam Crumpton brings home P2 of Escobati, P3 with that fastest lap with a 134.821. Nevertheless, thank you to everyone who tuned in to today's race. We'll see you again for next week, and hopefully Scott will be back with me, as today was a hard race to do commentary without him. Nevertheless, thank you to everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy your week, and goodbye.